Oh, is this the angle? Looks like it is. Yeah, I did finish reading this, and it's kind of to be continued. Story by, what's his name? Keanu Reeves. There's an interesting drawing of the character inside that looks more like him. Because, I'm pretty sure he wants to do a movie of this at some point with this character. Which one is it? Well, there's a few actually, just different artists kind of drawing him more at the end in some extra panels than the character itself in the whole story. I'm reading also this one, Margaret Atwood, and I've got 1984 as a graphic novel. I don't think I've ever seen the movie, and if so, I might have been too young to understand its philosophical value. I thought I'd finish this, but it turns out I didn't. I'll read you a little part of it as part of the bonus vlogs of a master of science and ecocentric worldview. On my Facebook, I put a screenshot of the cover of something I wrote that I totally forgot about today. So, humans have never understood the indivisibility of Earth. Thanks for getting me out of here. Okay, I won't read the characters. I'll just read the narrator. We are all, every one of us, Gaia. The trees are her lungs, the oceans her blood, the teeming soil is her gut, the sky and planetary atmosphere her flesh. And you, so resourceful, so adaptable, so shockingly aware, you should have been her eyes and ears, her witnesses, her agile, inquiring consciousness. Instead, you have become, at worst, a parasite, at best, her broken heart. Contrary to popular lore, frogs most certainly will jump out of water, slowly coming to a boil at the moment they become uncomfortably warm. You can try it. I mean, it's a bit cruel, but if you want to be a scientist with something as simple as this to prove how to contradict popular lore and become more of a critical thinker, just make sure there's a way. Don't put the lid on. And do it at a reasonable pace, right? Don't maximize the heat. It's a slow thing, right? It is humans who stay obliviously submerged until it is far too late to escape. Despite your willful ignorance in the face of impending doom, though you have evolved to be quite adept at responding to immediate threats. In fact, when there's an impending doom that is of the slower process, but again, it's speeding up the Anthropocene right now, is you'll ignore it and create wars that for you seem like an immediate threat. It's a disconnection from reality. I mean, the news right now around the world should be majoritively Anthropocene and mitigation venture related. And I'm not saying it should be now. I mean, it should have been years ago, and it still isn't now. And so here we are. And to those of you asking what you should do, and this representative character of possibly Gaia, I haven't finished reading the story. That's not her name, though. You should flee. So some people, like if you say, what? You'd have us, go back to the caves or whatever. And caves not a bad idea. Underground caves even better. Natural air conditioning. We failed as a species, and we've been failing for thousands of years in the sense that it's not an overnight awareness that's going to fix things. We need multiple generations to fix what we could have fixed before, but chose not to fix before for so long, and now it's pretty much impossible to fix. At least our species as we know it at this time. If we return, by choice, it is better for us in the long term, but we will have to escape fires, let's say, escape heat, escape all the nonsense, and kind of spend more time in caves that are naturally cool. We can do some art there, right? Maybe write some wiser messages or tell some better stories with the art than before, so we can show, hey, in thousands of years, this is when we learned a hard lesson, and this is when we were clueless, but still the same as when we learned hard lessons because we were still clueless. It could be an extraterrestrial species that comes later. Exobiologists, exoplanetary biologists that would, I don't have to say planetary with the word exo, but they would come and say, was there intelligent life here? And here's a timestamp of this art and this art. And it seems they're at the same level, except, now there's these ruins of all these proto-civilizations where really there wasn't any more sentience or sapience. So when we go back to the caves, we have to find out why we chose and what happened that we fell behind to modernity so much by never focusing on the first form of technology, biological, anthropological, ecological technology, human thinking tools that would have connected us in a way to develop a global awareness as a planetary system holder of such a big brain compared to others. But because we never did this and we fell behind more and more, we became less and less important to what life was trying to accomplish on this planet. But of course, again, we became less important to the goal, but more important in the destructiveness of falling behind, because the legacy we leave behind is a devolution of millions, if not billions of years, depending how the outcome of the next few generations will be. But it could be, again, we devolve the atmosphere, the biosphere itself, to levels that were even before our species was born. So that is quite a shame. So again, we had great potential. We chose not to do the work. We choose even more today not to do the work and to disconnect from the reality of all this. And therefore, we've become more of a threat with what we've done with the wrong kinds of technology. Not the human thinking tool technology, but the one to kind of even cheat ourselves out of the great awareness that we could have brought to the rest of the planetary system.